Hey, Good Sam, this is Pastor Jed. On Sunday, we gather together and we were reminded how uncomfortable silence is. I reminded you of a study that Harvard did. They put people in the room and they asked them to be quiet, to be silent for 15 minutes. Many of those people couldn't take it. They left. They hit the eject button. So they made it more interesting. They gave them a button which would give them an electrical shock. Because the silence was so difficult, because it was so challenging, many people just used that little button over and over again just to stimulate, just to change, just to bring something into the silence, even though it was painful. On Sunday, we were reminded that there was a season in Israel's history where God had gone silent. He had stopped talking because his people, they had stopped listening. For 400 years, God had not spoken to them until God speaks in the beginning of Luke chapter 1. We're introduced to Zechariah. He's a holy man. He's a priest. He's married to Elizabeth, who's also a descendant of a priest. I mean, this is an all-star spiritual couple, and yet they cannot have children. Zechariah is called into the temple. What an honor that was. And as he is performing his priestly duties, there's an angel that appears to him. And the angel has some good news that God is going to start speaking. God is talking. God is introducing his rescue plan. Because the news is so big, because it's so unexpected, Zechariah questions the angel, which in turn means that he's questioning God. In response, Zechariah gets to walk into the quiet. He gets to experience silence. Why? Is it punishment? No, it's not punishment. It's to reorient Zechariah's heart. I know many of us, we're approaching this season, and maybe we're like Zechariah. Maybe we're like Elizabeth. We're carrying something. We're carrying something hard. We're carrying something painful. We're carrying a loss or a grief or a hurt or maybe a pain. I want to remind you that God sees you and knows you and loves you right where you are. And in this silence, God wants to remind you that you are not forgotten, that God might be doing his very best work. And so this week, we're asking you to embrace the silence, to embrace the quiet, to tune up your ears to hear God's still, small voice. This is a huge task. It's challenging. It's challenging for me. It's challenging for you. And so I want you to know that I'm thinking of you and I'm praying for you as you enter the quiet, as you enter the silence, as you listen for God's still, small voice.